Welcome to the second video tutorial on the Cincom ObjectStudio modeling and mapping tool. The modeling and mapping tool is a component of Cincom ObjectStudio. It's a very visual aspect that allows you to show and discuss with your team or a client or maybe your boss what a solution can look like. The modeling and mapping tools allow business owners and software designers to work together to build full applications to support their business. In our last video about the ObjectStudio modeling and mapping tool, we saw an overview of the modeling tool and how quick and easy it was to set up a model. For this video, we're going to see the powerful mapping tool in action. To start this demo, we have the modeling tool open and can see the model we built using the modeling tool in the previous video. We can also see the class browser, which shows us the classes in the model. For this demonstration, we are going to map the model that we created using the ObjectStudio modeling tool. We're going to create tables in a database. We're going to map the instant variables of the model into the database tables. We're going to populate the database with data, which will then allow us to see objects in the database tables. In the mapping tool, we first start by setting up a database. The database in this example is a Postgres database. You can see here that the classes we previously set up in our modeling tool demo are now appearing under classes in the mapping tool. And here you see we are adding the classes. Now that we have the tables set up in the database, we are going to generate them. During table creation, ID is a serial type automatically created by the database. Serial is a sequence, and the generation phase will create the required setup. Now that we have the tables set up in the database, we are going to generate them. Once the tables are generated, we can start mapping the instance variables from our classes. Next, we set up the tables of the database in the mapping tool. You can import classes from the modeling tool, from a namespace, from a bundle package, or from the entire image. Here, we set up a foreign key constraint. These are important in order to make the automatic mapping work. Here, we show that the tables are not yet created in the database. They are created in the mapping tool, but not yet in the database. Here we show the raw data from the database. When we generate the tables, we create the tables in the database. You also see the created sequences for the serial IDs. After the generation of the tables, also the primary keys and foreign key constraints are created for the tables. Here, we start the automatic mapping and show the mapping for product name. At the bottom of the list, you see that it's mapped with public article product number. This is for direct mapping, and the other is for relational mapping. Here, we created the code and then ran some code offline in order to populate the database. Here, we are generating the code that describes the tables, the classes, and the relation between those in a descriptor system. After the tables are generated and the instant variables from our classes are mapped, we can look at our class browser and see that the database is populating correctly. Now that the database is populated, you can see what the tables look like and can see the data from the objects. You can also view this information from the objects itself to see more details. From the classes, we can query the database and see the object retrieved from the database using the mapping info from the mapping tool. For a full-length tutorial of what you just saw, click on the description below.